Hello, everyone. Many of you have asked, after learning about my transition, how I put makeup on, and why, in some cases, some of you have commented that my makeup is better or simply placed on differently than yours. In this video, I'm going to attempt to explain step by step exactly what I do to get the look that I have, and then you can compare it to what you do and determine what kinds of changes you might want to make in applying your own. Okay, so the first step, and I'm assuming a lot of you are aware of this, but it definitely helps with my face, is to take some moisturizer and put moisturizer on your face first. So what you find is if you don't use moisturizer on your face first, is that whenever you apply any kind of foundation, it's immediately going to get basically absorbed into your skin. And what's going to happen is it's going to cause it to look like there's lots of little wrinkles and cracks and things of that nature. So the particular one that I use is the oil-free Neutrogena moisturizer. This one goes on great. Just gonna make sure it gets all over my face. Step 2 is basically to take, in my case, I still have a beard because I've gone through laser hair removal and through electrolysis, and neither one of them have worked effectively. It takes 18 months, apparently, to remove, using laser hair removal, all of my beard on my face and on my neck. Because apparently there's 4 different cycles to hair growth, and so you have to go each month for 18 months in order to get it all to remove. So what was recommended to me is that to use a color corrective cosmetic, because otherwise you'll see, it's not even stubble because I do a close shave first, but it's just a darkness of where my beard is. So I'm using Stila One Step Color Correct, and I'm going to take a little bit and I'm going to put that on my forehead, and I'm going to take a little bit, put that on my face. I basically put this all over my face because I do have some minor skin imperfections, as well as in the beard area. It gives it a common base to apply your foundation to. So here I'm going to put make sure I've got it on. And I particularly put it underneath my eyes where I tend to have some dark circles. And I think that it kind of helps reduce the, how well you can observe those dark circles. So I'm going to make sure that I have that. The next step is going to be to apply the foundation. Now Sephora, again, Denise is the makeup artist over there. She suggested to me that I use this type of sponge. What's nice about this sponge is that it's got a little point there, which will help you when you're trying to get it into the corners underneath your eye and so forth. And she recommended, because of the dryness of my skin, to use a hydrating foundation. So the foundation that I'm using is Illusion by Hourglass, and the color is to match my skin tone, which is golden. And so I'll show you what that is right there. There's Illusion. You can see that it is a hyaluronic skin tint, broad spectrum SPF 15, so it's got some SPF in there too. The amount that I'm going to put on is just a little dab like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take I just happen to have a bowl. Normally I'd use the sink, but because I'm located by the computer right now, I'm just going to make this sponge really moist, and then I'm going to just dip it in my hand right there, and then I'm going to start applying it to all over my face. So I use kind of a rotating motion. You can get the product on the sponge and then kind of use a rotating motion and cover your entire face. This whole process, by the way, that I'm following here should take actually about an hour to put on. It was kind of surprising to me in how long it takes to put this on, but nonetheless it does. And depending on how detail-oriented you are and how many mistakes you make, it could take longer. That was one of the challenges that women had mentioned to me before, that as a man I didn't recognize or realize was, like how much time it actually took for them to look good. For you guys out there, if any of you happen to be watching this, it takes a long time to put this. I don't know what I do with my foundation. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Sorry. It takes a long time to apply this to your face, but I try to just kind of start out a little bit by putting it all over to make sure it's evenly spread. And then I kind of roll it in. I make sure to put it around my beard area to make sure that I've got a lot of it on there, but I don't want too much because I don't want it to look, I still want the look to look very natural and not like my foundation is all caked on. And it's one of the reasons why I asked Sephora to help me with this approach. I used to use something called Dermablend. The Dermablend was a thick cream, and that thick cream would come on and it would look very cake-like. This particular product will end up looking pretty natural, get all done. Now I'm just going to put just a little bit more on my neck because I didn't have quite enough product down there. Okay, I'm just going to look and see if there's any major spots where I don't have any. And there we go. There's our foundation. Once we have the foundation applied, the next step is to apply our contouring. For contouring, I am using a product called Smashbox, or it's a brand, I guess. It is a powder, and this particular color is Suntan Matte. Now it's just a slightly darker shade than what the foundation is. And again, my recommendation is just to go in and meet with somebody at Sephora or Ulta, for example, to have them pick out the right one for your skin tone. Now, in my case, because my bone structure is different than most women, there's really not a standard kind of approach that I can take. So what was recommended to me was to locate where my cheekbone is. So here's my cheekbone, and then go right below my cheekbone, which is why I have kind of a small brush that I'm using. And right below that cheekbone is where I'm going to start applying the contouring or the bronzing. Now, several times I'll smile like this, and just to see, where my cheeks are and where my cheekbone is. And what you want to do is you don't want to go further into your face past halfway into your eye. So this color should only go up to your pupil. And so I'm just going to put it like that. And on this side, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to find out where the cheekbone is. Just sort of put it over there. And I'm just creating a line right now. This line is just to give me, roughly where this should be. So again, I'm looking straight on to see, how far is it, and it's just about, might have went just a little bit too far in that part there. And then I'm just going to fill in about twice the width of this brush. And so on this side, Again, I'm going to go like that. And just make sure that I have a nice contour. You can see already that my cheeks are starting to pop out from my face, particularly when I smile. Now, I know many of you right now are going like, well, I don't use such a small brush. I was taught to use a big brush. You know, if you're good at putting on the big brush, then put the big brush on. But I'm not quite that accurate yet. Now, also because of the shape of my face, I'm going to put a little bit on the sides of my nose in order to make my nose thinner. And so, again, that's why I use a smaller brush, because I always use this brush for my contouring. That way it doesn't mix colors or anything with my other powders. And then my nose is kind of long. See how long my nose is? So I'm going to put a little bit on the front here just to give a little bit of a shadow on the nose. And what that's going to do is it's going to reduce the length of my nose so that my nose looks a little bit shorter. And then the other thing I'm going to do is I've got kind of a high forehead. So I'm going to put just a little bit of contouring up in here. And this will reduce the size of my forehead, or the appearance of the size of my forehead. The challenge with a smaller brush is just making sure that you get it evenly spread if you're going across large areas. And so already, and you can see just a little bit of a shadow there that's kind of bringing down the way that my head is shaped, or my forehead, I should say. Now, I'm going to get under my chin. And so sometimes I'll get a little bit bigger brush because I got such a large area to do. So we're going to apply this basically along my whole neck area. And just up to the jawline. And you can see what the contouring has done, or the bronzing has done, is it's created this kind of shadow down there. And that's what's giving me the more of the chiseled jawline that I want. I'm also going to take this larger brush, and I'm just going to make sure that this is kind of smoothed out. I'm going to blend down. Because I know some of you had asked me about blending. They said, how do you do blending? And that's basically how you do it. So you can see right now that when you look at my face is looking pretty defined. Then we'll go on to the next step. Okay, step 5, now that we have our contouring applied, is we're going to apply some highlighting. So I'm going to take my, Jenna likes to call this a kabuki brush. It actually is not technically a kabuki brush, but it's very similar. It's got a very firm, textured set of bristles. And where I'm going to apply that is I'm going to apply a little bit on my forehead. And then I'm going to apply a little bit on the side of my eyes. And then I'm going to apply some on my chin. And some just at the jawline. And then some right underneath my nose. And this applying of this powder on top of the foundation is going to solidify the look that we're trying to achieve. Okay, the next step is to start working on the eyes. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to pick this color scheme. Now I happen to be wearing pink today, so I'm going to wear something that has a pink toned eyeshadow to it. And the first thing I want to do is I want to pick out something that is very light shade in color. And I'm going to grab this is like a small angled brush. And I learned this from the movie Burlesque with Cher, where she teaches Christina Aguilera how to put on eyeshadow. And she says the first thing that you do is you wet your brush. So we're going to wet the brush. And the color I'm going to pick out is relatively light shaded, something that'll go along with pink. So I've got my light color, and when I go to apply this, I'm going to apply this right to where the lid is right here in my eye. And I'm going to go all the way up, close to, but not quite, up to the eyebrow. This goes on really easy when the brush is really wet. And the challenge is if you're doing both eyes, just make sure you get enough product in both eyes. And the reason I'm using pink is because this pink, like I said, I was wearing pink, but pink also works out to be a very good smoky eye color for the daytime. So we're always trying to achieve those smoky eyes, and if you use a black, it just doesn't always look right in the middle of the day. Black or grays are great for nighttime, as are dark blues. And so once I put that one on, so this is just a light shade that's going to come up almost, you can see there, almost to where my eyebrow is. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another shade, which is going to be a much more brilliant shade. And naturally I can't get this thing open. Oh, I was opening the wrong side. This one is a much brighter pink. See, almost the same color as my nail polish. And I'm going to get some of this on the brush. And this one I'm going to put just on the lid, right up to where see where the crease is? I'm going to put it up to where the crease is. So this is, you can kind of see the difference now. So there's a little bit of a, like a purplish color, and then I got a little bit of pink right in there. And I'm going to do it for the other eye. Same thing. Yeah, if you don't wet the brush, it makes everything much more difficult to put it on. So there, I've done it for the other eye. Okay. Just checking to make sure they're even. Now, at this point, I'm just going to clean off my brush. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply. Now, this is going to be like a silver color, white or silver. It's just really usually to kind of highlight. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply that right over that pink color that I just put on. And it's just going to brighten that up just a little bit. And it's going to give it kind of kind of like a shiny look. I don't know if you can see how shiny it is now. And I'm going to apply it on the other side. And so they're looking a little shiny now. Then I'm going to take that same color, which is basically, again, it's basically white. I'm going to apply it right into the corner of my eye. I'm going to apply it right there into the corner of my eye. And you can use I've used pens before that are colored in white, a white highlighter pen, and that works really good. And the reason is that that makes your eyes look that much, it makes it look like you're a little wider awake than you normally would be if you did all black. And then I make sure that I get just a little bit of that to go from the corner. And then I go out just about the width of the brush into my eye, or towards my eye. The next thing I'm going to do is apply the eyeliner. The eyeliner is going to be applied from the center of my eye going outwards. So in this case, I'm using a pencil. You could use liquid liner too. Liquid liner works just as good. If you're using liquid liner, you want to apply it sideways to get the straightest edge on it. Another technique you can use is you can spread it on. You can paint it on with the pencil, and then after you paint it on with the pencil, you can fill it in with, I'll show you with some cream-based black eyeliner. So on the bottom, I'm just working on the waterline. See the bottom? You can see where I'm going. It's about halfway. Okay, I placed my eyeliner on. Now, one of the things about eyeliner is that you can do a number of different things on the side. You can make it different thicknesses depending on what kind of mood that you're kind of going for. Some of the tips that I have about getting the corners, if you do that little, I don't know what to call it, a little angle up there, is to put Scotch tape on your face, angled the way that you want it, and then you basically run the marker up like that. When you remove the tape, it has a perfectly straight edge to it. It's one of the tricks that I learned. I'm not going to do those little things right now. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to apply the what do we call it? Mascara. I don't know why I still get kind of spacey sometimes. Now the trick that Jamie had taught me about doing mascara is I'm going to open my eyes. I'm going to put the mascara near my lash, and I'm going to blink it down. Now, the girls at Sephora mentioned to me that depending on what you're trying to do, if you're trying to make your lashes look thicker and longer, there's different styles of brushes that come with the mascara. So you can see kind of the one that I'm using, but there's different kinds. Some of them have more of brush on the tip, and the tip is particularly important if you are trying to get the bottom half. Now Jamie, for example, she told me that she doesn't even bother to do the bottom half because the bottom half is it can be so complicated to do because you end up making lots of mistakes. It's so hard with such a big brush to get around the bottom. Now, what I am using, by the way, is I'm using a double mirror. On one side, it's a standard mirror, and the other side, it's a 4x. And I use that 4x to get up really close to be able to do that bottom. And this, of course, is if you're not using fake lashes. I think that fake lashes are frankly the best, but I only use them when I go out on the town. If I'm going out to a club or something, I'll use fake lashes. Otherwise, I don't use them just because they're hard to get on. So now you can see, kind of what my eyes look like with the mascara. And then at this point, the next step is we're going to focus on for the eyebrows. I'm using a product called an eyebrow cake powder. It comes in a little package like this. This package includes, you can see this cream. This cream here is used to mat down your eyebrow, in case you want to do that. It's kind of useful if you're trying to take down your eye and paint it a different color. In my case, my eyebrows are so dark that I don't really do much of that. I'm just going to do it now just to kind of show you the effect of it. Because usually what I'm doing is I'm just kind of filling in the color of mine. But right now I can tell you that this brush has a little bit of color from when I applied it last time because I didn't clean my brush. And so I have to be very careful on the motions that I'm making, otherwise it'll create the shape of the eyebrow. So you can probably can't see that very well, but it's kind of matted down my eyebrow. Now I'm just going to look at the shape of my eyebrows and see if there's any shape changes I want to make. And what I'll do is I'm going to take a little bit of the color and then I'll fill in the eyebrow. Eyebrows can be challenging because they're not exactly the same on your face, and so getting them exactly perfect can be difficult at times. Once I apply to shape my eyebrows, there's a number of different theories on shapes. You see people shape them all the time and different things. Some put a little thicker in the middle and some are a little thinner on the sides. I kind of pluck mine and I just have it kind of set to where I want it. Then I'm going to take some, apply my lipstick, and you can use any particular lipstick you want. Now, one of the things I noticed with lipstick is that if you use a smaller lipstick like this one, you can make a lot more changes easier. By changes, I mean, if you don't have really big lips, you can extend the size of your lip. But you have to do it very carefully, because if you do it too much, if you make it too thick, you're going to look like a clown. You can see my lips look bigger now, even though technically they're not any bigger than they were before I started. So they look bigger soon. Okay, so now that we put our lipstick on, I'm going to go take a picture and show you what it looks like in better